Welcome to Lotus Lane Daily. I'm glad you're here. Today's wisdom is for anyone stuck watching everyone else's life and feeling behind. You know that feeling when you're lying in bed at midnight, phone in hand, and you've somehow ended up on the Instagram page of someone you went to school with? They just got promoted, or married, or they're posting from a rooftop in Lisbon, golden hour, glass of wine, the whole thing, and you're lying there in yesterday's clothes thinking, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. But let's not just say that and move on, because you've probably heard that before, and it didn't help. Let's actually talk about what's happening, why it hurts so much, and what you can do about it tonight, not in 6 months after you've worked on yourself. The comparison trap is not a character flaw. First, something worth knowing. The feeling that everyone else is doing better than you is not a sign that you're weak, broken, or behind. It's a sign that you're human and that you're alive in an era specifically designed to make you feel exactly this way. Social media is not a window into other people's lives. It's a highlights reel that's been filtered, selected, and timed for maximum impact. The person on the rooftop in Lisbon didn't post the argument they had that morning, or the anxiety that keeps them up at night, or the fact that they put that trip on a credit card they can't pay off. You are comparing your entire messy, unfiltered internal experience, every doubt, every failure, every 2 a.m. spiral, to someone else's carefully selected external performance. That's not a fair fight. It was never going to be. But knowing this doesn't make the pain go away. And that's worth sitting with for a moment, why it hurts more than it should. There's something particular about this kind of pain. It's not like a broken arm where you can point to the thing that hurts. Comparison pain is slippery. It disguises itself. Sometimes it shows up as anger, at them or at yourself. Sometimes it shows up as numbness, a flat gray feeling that settles over everything. Sometimes it's a specific, sharp ache when you see something that reminds you of what you wanted for yourself and don't have yet. And underneath all of it, almost always, is a question, am I enough? That question is old. It probably started long before Instagram. Maybe it started in a classroom where someone else got the gold star. Maybe it started at a family dinner table. The phone just gives it a new surface to attach itself to, over and over, in an endless scroll. Here's something a philosophical teacher wrote that stopped me cold when I first read it. Wisdom is the ability to see things as they really are, not as we wish them to be, and then to act accordingly. That's not a soft, comforting idea. It's actually a hard one. Because seeing things as they really are means looking at the comparison honestly, not just the other person's highlight reel, but your own distorted perception of it. And it means looking at your own life with the same clear eyes. What do you actually have? Not compared to anyone else. Just what is real right now in your life? The loneliness inside the comparison. Here's the part nobody talks about. When you feel like everyone is doing better than you, there's usually a layer of loneliness underneath it. Because what you're really feeling is, I am alone in this. No one else is struggling like I am. But this is statistically almost certainly not true. The person whose career you envy might be miserable in it. The couple whose relationship looks perfect might be going through something you can't see. The friend who seems so confident might be performing confidence so hard they've forgotten what it feels like to actually be at ease. Not because people are fake, but because most people are fighting something, quietly. And the social rules say you don't show it. As one philosophical text puts it, compassion is not about feeling pity for others. It is about sharing their suffering and working together to overcome it. What strikes me about this is the word sharing, not looking down at someone else's pain from a safe distance, actually sharing it. The assumption built into that idea is that everyone has suffering, not as an abstract concept, but as a real, daily, lived reality for people who look from the outside completely fine. You are not the only one struggling. You are just one of the honest ones, at least with yourself, at 2 a.m. What to actually do right now? Philosophy is useful, but you probably want something practical. So here are a few things that actually help. Not in a fix-everything way, but in a get through tonight and start seeing more clearly way. Put the phone down. Seriously, right now. Not forever. Just for tonight. The comparison spiral almost always happens on a screen, and it almost always gets worse the longer you scroll. You are feeding something that is hungry and will never be full. Close the app, put the phone face down. The rooftop in Lisbon will still be there tomorrow. Write down 3 things that are actually true about your life, not 3 things you're grateful for in a forced performative way. 3 things that are simply real. You have a roof over your head, or you don't, but you're safe right now. You have one person who would answer if you called, or you're working on finding that. You manage today, even if managing just meant getting through it. Real things. Small things. True things. Talk to someone about what you're actually feeling, not the polished version, the raw one. I feel like everyone is doing better than me and I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. Say it out loud to one person. The relief that comes from being heard is not nothing. It is one of the most genuinely restorative things available to human beings, and it costs nothing. On this point, something written a long time ago still holds. A single warm word can give someone the courage to go on living. Never underestimate the power of your compassion. This was written about what you can offer others, but it works the other way too. Letting someone offer that warmth to you is not weakness. It is actually one of the braver things you can do. Make one small plan for tomorrow, not a life overhaul. One thing. Send one email you've been putting off. Go outside for 10 minutes. Cook something instead of ordering in. The feeling of being behind is partly fueled by inertia, by days that feel like they're happening to you rather than being shaped by you. One small action chips away at that. The longer view. Life is genuinely not a race, even though it feels like one constantly. People arrive at things at wildly different times. Someone you know might be getting married right now and quietly fall apart 5 years from now. You might be in the hardest stretch of your life right now and find, 5 years from now, that it was the thing that made everything else possible. You cannot see the whole picture from where you're standing tonight. Nobody can. What you can do is be honest about where you are. Not harsh. Honest. There's a difference. Harsh is, I'm a failure and everyone else has figured it out. Honest is, I'm struggling right now and I don't know how to move forward, and that's hard. One of those closes doors. The other one keeps them open. You're not as alone as this feels. The fact that you looked up "everyone is doing better than me" at 2 a.m. tells me something about you. It tells me you're paying attention to your own life, that you want something more different, that you haven't gone numb, that underneath the comparison and the pain, there's someone who actually cares about their life, about doing something meaningful with it. That's not nothing. That's actually the place where things can start to shift. You don't have to have it figured out. You don't have to be further along. You just have to get through tonight and then tomorrow and be a little more honest with yourself and the people around you than the world usually asks you to be. That's it. That's enough for now. Put the phone down. Get some sleep if you can. Tomorrow is a different day. Not a better one guaranteed, but a different one. And different is where things begin to change. That's the wisdom for today. If something here landed for you, share it with one person who might need to hear it too. Take it slow. I'll see you tomorrow on Lotus Lane Daily.